The role of natural resources in a country's economy. A country has different kinds of resources that can help its people produce goods and services. Human resources are the education and skills that people have to produce goods and services. Capital resources are the things like machines and equipment that people need to produce goods and services. Natural resources are sometimes thought of as gifts of nature. Natural resources includes forests, like the Amazon rainforest in Brazil. They include fertile soil, such as the red limestone soil in Cuba that extends from the west of Havana to the southern coast. Water is another natural resource. Brazil has nearly one-fifth of the world's water reserves, but its water resource management needs to be improved to meet the growing demand for drinking water and water used for agricultural purposes. Natural resources are important to countries. Without natural resources of their own, countries must import the natural resources that they need. This adds to the cost of goods and services. A country is better off if it can use its own natural resources to supply the needs of its people. If a country has lots of natural resources, it can trade them to other countries for goods and services. It can also use the natural resources to create goods that can be traded to other countries. In Latin America, countries with the most natural resources tend to have a higher standard of living than those with few natural resources. Brazil is the world's third largest producer and exporter of iron ore. Brazil also produces timber wood that adds to the country's economic success. Most of Mexico's natural resources are below the soil. Mexico's single most valuable mineral resource is petroleum. Mineral resources are the fourth largest export of Mexico, bringing in $18 billion annually. Cuba is one of the top 10 producers of cobalt and nickel in the world. Question number 1. What are natural resources? Gifts to help the economy, gifts of nature, gifts from the farm, or gifts from the government? Question number 2. Which natural resource is considered by some to be the most important? Brazil contains nearly one-fifth of this resource. Trees, water, natural gas, coal. Question number 3. Which item is an example of a natural resource? Furnaces, education, natural gas, automobiles. Question number 4. How does having natural resources help the economy of a country? The country is able to produce all the goods and services that it needs. Companies can export natural resources without having to create goods to sell. The country saves money because it doesn't have to import natural resources needed by the people. Companies spend more money because they must buy the natural resources needed to create more goods. Question number 5. Which natural resources are the greatest help to the economies of some countries in Latin America? Forest oil and water, steel, natural gas, and fertile soil, forest, automobiles, forest, hydroelectric power, oil.